Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's capsule, the fundamentals of grievances and issues management. Today's video will be on managing grievances and their related workflows. Now, I also want to note that this video will be presented in two parts. We're going to start with moving a grievance from open to in progress, and the second part of this video will be moving it from in progress to closed. When you're managing a project or outreach, it must be important to know at which stage your current grievances are at, how quickly they're being resolved, insights even into the risks they currently pose to your project may help you with quick decision making as well. This video will show you everything you need to do to get that type of information into Borealis, such as assessing your grievances, moving them through the workflow, even tagging an email to them, and then finally closing them off. So let's get into it. Really excited to show this to you. Now, you may notice I've actually started in a different area than I normally would in these videos. I'm actually in our help center right now in the workflow for grievances article, which will be linked in this video's page on the help center as well. I'm actually here because I want to show you this chart right here. So we did the blue dot here on the left. We received the grievance about the dust cough and we entered it into Borealis. When you enter a grievance into Borealis, it's automatically set as open. Now, the only arrow that we can follow down this progression path is we need to now assess our grievance to move it and acknowledge that it's in progress and we're working to solve. Now, we could go from here and close off our grievance. We're going to follow mainly that path. I'll come back to this chart, but let's head now into Borealis and move our grievance from opened to in progress. Now, here we are back in Borealis. I am in my grievances form, and if you remember, here is our cough due to dust kick up grievance that we created in the last video of this capsule, and you can see the status is set to open. Now, we can assess this grievance by going into it, accessing the actions menu here, and this is where most of the workflow movement is actually done in this action menu. You can actually see we have a section called workflow. And if you remember, the first step is to assess. So we're going to click on assess, and it's going to open up a form, and we have the ability now to enter some information. So we can enter the date of the assessment. This should automatically be set to today. So typically you don't change it unless maybe you've done the assessment in the past and maybe like on a piece of paper, and now you just want to enter it into Borealis. If you remember, we already had some subject categories assigned when we created the grievance, but this gives us the ability to add more as well if we so need to. Maybe this falls under hazardous materials as well. We could change the responsible person, change the project folder it's assigned to if you're using the TDS add-on. But getting down here, there's some very important fields. If we would like, we can assess the risk this poses to our project or organization. We have a few options here. These can be customized. Please talk to your super user or CSA about that. But maybe in this case, it's a medium risk. We can then look towards the priority and saying this is a medium priority for us as well. And we could even have a target date that we hope to resolve this grievance by. So maybe we hope to get it done by the end of March, for example. We could put in any comments we want to leave as well, but this is very basic and typically good amount of information to help support some reporting to see where your grievances are at, the current risk and priority, and even looking at a calendar with the target dates of some of the completion for these. So really, really good information captured here just with these few simple fields that we used. We're ready to click the assess button now. I want you to take note that once we click it, this grievance will move to in progress. So let's click it. And you'll notice the open, where my mouse is now in progress. And we have successfully assessed our grievance, and it is now considered to be in progress and the work is being done. You may also notice not only has the grievance moved to in progress, but a few additional areas or sections has been added to the left-hand side. The assessment area is one of them, showing the information, I guess, on the current assessment that we just did to this grievance. And then we also have a closeout area where we can put recommendations and the root cause of the grievance, for example, if we so choose to. These are optional, but I will show you how to use them. Now, maybe we want to add a recommendation to this grievance. Again, an optional step, but if we go back to the actions menu, we'll notice that there's some new options in the workflow and a few options down here, like the ability to reassess and add a recommendation. So if we wanted to add a recommendation so the person knows how to solve this grievance, if we've had it in the past, we can click add recommendation. And then we have a bunch of fields here that you could fill out, like the recommended response, the official response, the corrective actions taken, is compensation going to be paid, who approved this. There's a lot of options we have to enter here as a recommendation if you want. This could be for managers or just a simple way to add recommendations. We keep a whole history of them in recommendations history here. Now it's time to provide a response to the stakeholder. We're going to send them an email. I already have one typed up, and we're going to use the Outlook add-in to tag this grievance to the email. We're just going to tell the stakeholder we're going to send out some water trucks to dampen the soil while we're digging so the dust doesn't kick up as much when it's in the dry season. Okay, so I'm inside of Outlook right now. I'm using the Outlook add-in. You may have the Gmail add-in if you're using Gmail. We just use Outlook here. So I have the Outlook add-in open right now on the right-hand side. I have my email typed up. I have the stakeholder's email address in my email as well, ready to go with a few fields filled out. All I need to do now is just make sure to link this email to my grievance. How I do that is I have the Ads Fields feature down here inside of the Outlook add-in. So if I click it, I have the link to option right there. I could pick Grievances, scroll down, the field is now there, and I could just select my cough due to dust kick-up grievance. And when I hit send on this email, it's automatically going to link it to my grievance. So let's get back into Borealis, see if that actually happened, and then we'll go ahead and start the close-off process. All right, we're back at the grievance, and I'm back in my usual spot at the screen. So let's check out if our communication got in. If you remember, we could check the related engagements inside of the engagement tab, and you can see in communications right there, there it is, the email that we sent. So that's how you can just quickly link correspondence, like an email you send out. If you're manually creating phone calls, you also have the option right now if you want to create a communication inside the grievance, or also to link an existing record to it if you need to or already have it created. And that's it for this training video. We covered how to move a grievance once it's created from opened to in progress by assessing it, and we even did some steps like telling the stakeholder their resolution through email. We're ready to now close out the grievance. That will be covered in a part 2 video, so see you in the next video on how to close out a grievance, and thanks for watching this one.